Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, and I'm bringing you commentary you can use. So, this is episode 51. That's right, y'all. This is episode 51. And I want to bring you some information on the supply chain crisis. You all know, those of you who are subscribed to the channel right here on YouTube, Andrea Speaks TV. You all know that since April of 2021, earlier this year, you all know I have been covering the supply chain crisis. And so tonight I want to come and give you an update on what's been going on, some recent developments, as well as give you President Biden's plan, President Biden's plan to address the supply chain crisis. So thank you all so much. I appreciate your support. Hello. Welcome to everyone. I want to say thank you all so much for supporting the channel and also inviting others to subscribe as well as tune in. Thank you all so much. You could have been anywhere else this evening, but you chose to take time out of your busy schedule and tune in to get information and commentary you can use. And for that, I really and truly appreciate your support. All right. So, again, y'all, this is episode 51. Before we get started, there are several links that are in the description of this video. I encourage you to check out those links. Um, if you, some people have asked, okay, Andrea, how can we support the channel? I do have Andrea Speaks TV merchandise available. I have collaborated with clothing brand Superlative Collection. And so if you would like to support the channel and purchase Andrea Speaks TV merchandise, there is a link in the description of the video. You can check that out. And also make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you say, Andrea, you know what, this is a good topic. I'm tuned in, I'm listening, I want to learn more. I wasn't aware that there was a supply chain crisis. Maybe you have gone to the store and you're saying, wait a minute, what's happening? Why are the shelves bare? What's going on? I came in here, I'm here this week. I don't see anything on the shelves. Or I was here, last week? I'm sorry, I was here last week. I'm coming this week in the store and it's looking the same. Like, what's going on? So a lot of people, believe it or not, y'all, a lot of people are not aware that there is a supply chain crisis going on. So again, you all know I've been covering this since April in episode 15. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you go back. It's right here on the channel. You may have to scroll down because I have over 60 videos right here on the channel to give you information to help you be aware and informed of what's going on. So I just want to, bring you some news on that. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Also share this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. Now, I told you all before, I'm from a generation where there was no social media. So I want to build up my Instagram following. I will be posting more on Instagram. So if you are on Instagram, please make sure that you follow the channel, Andrea Speaks TV. I will follow you back. And also, you all know that I have also been covering food shortages, water shortages. I've talked about all these things on the channel, y'all. Make sure that you have an emergency food supply. We just don't know what's going to happen next, y'all. A lot of things are going on. And we just need to have emergency food supply and survival needs. So I do have a website. You can check out my website. It's also in the description of the video. Just go to preparewithandrea.com, check out the site, and order some things that you need. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We're going to talk about Biden's plan for the supply chain crisis. So October 13th, I think was the date that he actually spoke on this. And so I want to bring you some information. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And let me get everything set up here so that you can see it. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I want to say a welcome to all of my new subscribers. Maybe this is your first time tuning in and you're saying, okay, well, Andrea, what are you on here talking about? Maybe there was a particular video that brought you to the channel and you're wondering, okay, well, what is the purpose of your channel? What do you talk about? In my very first video, which is also here on the channel, I talked about how when everything first happened with the pandemic, and even to this day, there's still so much information and news that's pushed out to us that sometimes it's kind of hard to, it's difficult to say, okay, like, what is the information that we really need to know what's going on? And how can we take that information and use it to help ourselves, our family, our friends, our loved ones? So that is the goal and the focus of my channel, so that I can, as I say, bring you commentary that you can use. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm going to talk tonight about President Biden, his plan for the supply chain crisis, what he had to say about port congestion, and plans to ease and correct the current supply chain crisis. All right. Again, thank you all so much. We're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I am going to share information with you on the slide. So there will be some times where maybe I want you to read some information on the screen. So you'll hear my voice, but you won't be able to see me. So I'll enlarge the image on the screen and it'll take my picture away, but I'm still here. You'll be able to hear me, and then I'll come back on the screen. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's learn what President Biden had to say about port congestion, as well as the supply chain crisis. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide. All right, so again, y'all, some of you may have already been aware of what's going on. Basically, there are container ships. There are container ships that are docked at ports, whether it is ports in California or ports in other parts of the country or other parts of the world. And on these ports, on these ships are shipping containers. Okay. I talked about this originally in episode 15. And I shared that these ships, the shipping containers, are carrying furniture, auto parts, clothes, electronics, plastics, and other items. So a lot of times we're like, okay, well, we see the ships that are, docked at the ports, and we see these, different color containers that are on the ships, but what's actually in the containers? So again, furniture, auto parts, clothes, electronics, plastic, other items. This is actually one of the slides that I shared back from episode 15 when I first brought you all news on the supply chain crisis. After this video is over, y'all, I'll go back and post the link to episode 15 if you want to go back and see my very first coverage of the supply chain crisis. Even back then, y'all, in April, I believe I published a video on April the 17th, 2021. And so when I first got knowledge of it, just doing my research, I knew back then that months later, fast forward, here we are now, I even knew back then that this was a growing problem. So y'all, if you're not subscribed yet to Andrea Speaks TV, please make sure that you lock in with me, that you tune in, so that I can bring you news and information as I receive it. Okay. All right. So again, this is what's on these ships and the shipping containers. All right. I also talked about in episode 15, causes and effects of the supply chain crisis. Here are some of the causes that I shared. Increased consumer spending during the pandemic. You all remember when we were told that, a lot of stores were, well, let me say this, a lot of stores shut down. We were told to basically, stay home. There were certain times where, the public was advised to stay at home. And what did people do, y'all? People started shopping online. So increased consumer spending during the pandemic when people were at home, working from home. That is one of the causes of the supply chain crisis, as well as higher import levels due to increased consumer spending and port congestion. All right, here's some of the effects that I talked about again in episode 15. Shipping delays, which we're even still seeing now. Global shortage of shipping containers. Y'all, if the shipping containers are stuck on the ships and they're not being unloaded, well, that's hindering, or that's preventing those containers from being shipped back and refilled. It kind of just breaks the cycle. So that is one of the effects of what we're seeing today with the supply chain crisis. Also increased prices, y'all. I don't know if you're aware, I have videos on this as well, but prices are starting to go up on everyday common items that we purchase. There have even been talks of inflation. And so these things are all very real. Delayed production by companies. We see that as well, as a limited supply of goods, which also will drive up the cost. All right. Back in April, when I first shared this story, this was the picture, or one of the pictures that I was able to find. This comes from Business Insider. I'm sorry, Business Insider. And if you see the arrows, the ships that are kind of in the distance, it said all of these ships are waiting to dock, creating the problem of port congestion. Now, this is an image back from April of 2021, and I'm going to show another image, a more current image from October, so you can see kind of how this thing has magnified. Okay. So again, all these ships are waiting to dock, creating the problem of port congestion. Let me go to the next slide. All right, this was a screenshot of a video from the U.S. Coast Guard. Again, this is back in April, and the U.S. Coast Guard was showing that there were dozens of ships that were anchored off the coast, and you can see the ships there on the screen. All right, let's keep going. And here we are today. So I'm actually going to make this larger on the screen. Okay, you all can see it there. All right, so as you all can see, this image comes from CNBC image, and the article is titled "White House Plan Aims to Help Key West Coast Ports Stay Open 24/7 to Ease the Supply Chain Bottlenecks." Now, this image comes from Getty Images, and it says, in an aerial view, container ships, top left, okay, you all can see them there, are anchored by the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, this is in California, as they wait to offload on September 20th, 2021 near Los Angeles, California. So let me correct myself. I said this is an image from October. This is actually back from last month in September. Okay, so you can see, let me go back a couple of slides. You can see how it was back in April. Here's another image. And now look where we are. This is an image, a more current image from September. What y'all think about that? Okay, so obviously we can see that this issue, this crisis, has gotten much worse. Okay, now our administration, okay, President Biden and his administration, back on October 13th, 2021, they released a statement. Okay, they released a statement. President Biden actually gave a speech, and you all know I have spoken about whitehouse.gov. Whitehouse.gov is where this information comes from. Anytime the president or his administration they make a statement, or there is a press conference, a press release, this information is always posted on whitehouse.gov. So even sometimes issues or statements or press releases that don't always make the front page news, if there's a topic, something that our administration recently addressed, there's a great chance that you will be able to learn more about it and do research right here on whitehouse.gov. So you all make sure you check it out. There's a lot of information, a lot of things going on that people may or may not know about. So I do encourage you all to visit this site. But tonight I want to share some details and information from the fact sheet. The fact sheet, and it is titled Biden Administration's efforts to address bottlenecks at ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, that's in California, moving goods from ship to shelf. All right, y'all. So I just want to highlight some of the points. I'm not going to read the entire article, but again, at the end of the video, I'll go in and I will post the link to this press release, this statement and press release, so that you can go and get some of the details for yourself. Maybe you want to, actually read over it, but I'm going to highlight some of the important points that I took from it. Okay. So the article starts out by saying President Biden knew, okay, this is in the words of the White House. And it says President Biden knew that there would be massive economic challenges emerging from the pandemic. The Biden administration acted quickly to get the economy moving again, passing and implementing the American Rescue Plan to get checks in bank accounts and get Americans to take the thing. You all know what I'm talking about, okay? Now, the article or statement goes on to say, this is from the White House briefing room. Now, the next paragraph says, but as the country recovers, now listen to this, y'all, but as the country recovers from a once in a century pandemic and economic crisis, okay, this is in the words of the White House, but as the country recovers from a once in a century pandemic and economic crisis, the private businesses that make up our supply chains, which get goods to businesses and the American people, have struggled to keep up. The pandemic has led to a surge in e-commerce. We talked about that, with sales increasing 39% to keep up. The pandemic has led to a surge in e-commerce. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading. Let me go back. I missed the sentence here. Okay, the pandemic has led to a surge in e-commerce, with sales increasing 39% in the first quarter of 2021 compared to the first quarter of 2020. At the same time, the pandemic has disrupted workers in key transportation and logistic nodes. The jobs of 1,800 Southern California port workers were disrupted because of the pandemic earlier this year. These are the words of the White House. Okay. Now, y'all please stick around, because I will ask you to, after I share this information with you, I do want to ask you to comment in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. And I want us to talk about, what are the real solutions that are needed to address and correct the supply chain crisis. So please make sure that you stick around. Okay. Now, the article or the press release goes on to say that these disruptions are not just happening here at home in the United States, but all around the world, as the pandemic led to global shutdowns and disruptions. The Chinese ports of Yantian and Ningbo, Zhoushan, two of the top 5 largest ports in the world, each experienced multi-week partial terminal closures aimed at curbing pandemic outbreaks, slowing global supply chains due to increased dwell times, and canceling sailings. In September, this past September, hundreds of factories closed under lockdown restrictions in Vietnam, halting production that supports thousands of retailers worldwide. They have been slowly reopening in early October, but must still contend with mounting supply chain issues. These disruptions have made the transportation supply chain more unstable and difficult to predict. All right. Now, the article also goes on to say that the president launched the Supply Chain Disruptions Task Force in June, which included a focus on transportation and logistics bottlenecks to the U.S. economy, the U.S. economic recovery, after meeting with local government leaders and companies to diagnose the problems and identify solutions. Port Envoy John Papari was appointed in August to help drive coordination between the many private firms who control the transportation and logistics supply chain. Okay. Now, today, or on that particular day, this was an article back from October 13th. This is when the fact sheet was posted to whitehouse.gov. So it says today the administration is convening business leaders, port leaders, and union leaders to discuss the challenges at ports across the country and actions each partner can take to address the delays and congestion that we're seeing across the transportation supply chain. And the president will meet with the leadership from the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach and the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, okay, or the ILWU, to discuss the actions they are each taking to address these challenges in Southern California, okay. All right, now I'm going to advance to the next slide. All right, so here are some of the developments. Okay, now the article says these leaders are announcing a series of public and private commitments. This is a part of the plan, y'all. The leaders are announcing a series of public and private commitments to move more goods faster and to strengthen the resiliency of our supply chains by moving towards 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, y'all, operations at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Okay, so you can see the section that I'm reading now. I have it on the screen, and so I'm just going to highlight the parts that are in bold. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that you have a collaboration between the public and private sector, and they're going to be committing to moving these ships, unloading these ships, shipping containers to help strengthen the supply chain, okay? And that the port is going to be open 24/7. So let's get into it, y'all, okay? Now, here are some of the commitments that I want to share with you. It says the Port of Los Angeles is expanding to 24/7 operation. Another one says, let me keep going here. All right. So we have the Port of Los Angeles expanding to 24/7 operation. We also have the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, or the ILWU, has announced its members are willing to work those extra shifts. Okay. Now, it does say that this will add needed capacity to put towards clearing existing backlogs. This is an important first step. Now, the private businesses along the supply chain need to move their operations to 24/7. Okay. Another headline, large companies are announcing that they will use expanded hours to move more cargo off the docks so ships can come to shore faster. Okay. All right. So the commitments being announced today also include, all right. So here's where there is a collaboration between the public and the private sector. Okay. So I'm going to enlarge this on the screen. So you won't be able to see me, but you'll hear my voice. Okay. All right. So the commitments being announced include, all right. So Walmart has stepped in, and here is what Walmart is planning to do. Okay. So the nation's largest retailer, Walmart, is committing to increase its use of nighttime hours significantly and projects they could increase throughput by as much as 50% over the next several weeks. All right. So that is Walmart's plan. Now, we know that this is around the time of the holidays, and a lot of people, I imagine, are going to be preparing to shop at Walmart. You all know there's the Black Friday specials and deals that traditionally year after year people show up and get. And Walmart, again, is the nation's largest retailer, and so this is Walmart's plan. They said, well, I can imagine Walmart saying, wait a minute, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna come on the screen so y'all can see me. Now, can't y'all imagine with Walmart being the nation's #1 retailer, can't y'all imagine them saying, hold up, wait a minute, y'all. Okay, this is gonna affect us too. This, because at the end of the day, y'all, it's really about numbers. It's really about the bottom line. So you all think Walmart, the #1 nation's largest retailer, you think they're gonna sit back? First of all, do you think Walmart, y'all don't think Walmart know what's going on? So of course they're going to have some skin in the game, I guess you can say. So Walmart is the first company. There are a total of 6 companies, 6 major corporations that are stepping in and are playing a part in what President Biden is saying, a plan to help ease port congestion and the supply chain crisis. Okay. Thank you all so much. Someone in the chat said, keep talking about what matters. One day our people will wake up. You know what? I appreciate your comment. And one thing, I just want people to be aware because, again, like I shared earlier, a lot of people just don't know what's going on. And of course, whitehouse.gov. Everybody may not know about whitehouse.gov. It's something that I learned about in my research. And so as I get information, I just want to share it so that, not to scare people, not to frighten people, but so that people can be informed. So I appreciate your comment. Okay. Thank you all so much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe, share this video. People need to know about this. We're all shopping, preparing for the holidays, and even outside of the holidays, we're just going to the store every week, getting the things that we need, right? So I feel like other people may feel like this as well, that we need to know what's going on. Okay. So that if not anything else, we can be prepared and we can have a plan for what we're going to do. Okay. All right, let's keep going, y'all. So we talked about Walmart. Walmart, the nation's largest retailer, is committing. So Walmart is saying that they're going to increase its use of nighttime hours significantly, and projects that they could increase throughput by as much as 50% over the next several weeks. Now, before I go on and talk about the next company, you all know that I don't know, in my area, maybe in your area as well, I think this is something that's happening all over the nation. But I know Walmart just said they're going to increase its use of nighttime shift hours. But isn't there a labor shortage? Is the labor shortage still going on? I know I've seen some reports and talks about that in my research. So I know they're saying, hey, we're going to increase all these labor hours. We're going to be open 24/7. But instantly I have a question. Okay, are there workers? Are there people available to actually do the things that they're saying that they're going to do? How do y'all feel about that? Let me know in the chat. Okay. All right. So we talked about Walmart. Next, I want to talk about UPS. We're all familiar with UPS. Let me see. Okay, so I don't want to cut off some of the information, so I'll be in the background. So UPS is committing to an increased use of 24/7 operations and enhanced data sharing with the ports, all right, which could allow it to move up to 20% more containers from the ports. All right, this is what UPS is saying. And again, y'all, just like I said, okay, I know at one time we were talking about labor shortages, how it was hard to find workers, people to do the job. So again, this sounds good, it may look good, but are there actually people who are available and willing to do the work that this plan, Biden's administration and these companies are saying that they're going to collaborate and do? Okay, you all please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you share this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, so what are your thoughts on what UPS is saying? You all let me know in the chat. All right, we're going to continue. Thank you all so much to those who are watching now live or watching even by the replay. Okay. All right, so that's what UPS said they were going to do. All right, you all know FedEx has to play a role as well. FedEx. All right, take just a moment and read what FedEx had to say. All right. Read about what FedEx said that they were going to do. And also let me know your thoughts in the chat. All right, so here is what FedEx had to say. FedEx is committing to work to combine an increase again in nighttime hours with changes to trucking and rail use to increase the volume of containers it will move from the ports. And it says once these changes are in place, they could double the volume of cargo they can move out of the ports at night. Okay, do you all think this is something realistic that FedEx is saying? Do you think that there are enough workers? What about the labor shortage? Is this something that is achievable? You all let me know your thoughts in the chat. This is what FedEx is saying that they're going to do to help ease the supply chain crisis. Okay. All right. So again, FedEx is making a commitment to work to combine an increase in nighttime hours with changes to trucking and rail use to increase the volume of containers it will move from the ports. Once these changes are in place, FedEx says that they could double the volume of cargo that they can move out of the ports at night. Okay. All right. Let's see. Someone in the chat shared. I think it's achievable for people who want to make extra money. I definitely agree. You know, a lot of people, there are a lot of people I would imagine. I even know some people that took on extra, what am I trying to say? There are people who took on extra jobs. Maybe they're saving for something special that they want to do or accomplish. And so they're working, they took on an extra job. And so I do agree with that statement that it's achievable for people who want to make some extra money. Okay. All right. So we talked about FedEx. All right. Samsung. Samsung also had something to say. All right. Samsung is committing to move nearly 60% more containers, they said, out of these ports by operating 24/7 through the next 90 days. All right. 72% of U.S. homes have at least one Samsung product. Okay. Myself included. My phone is Samsung, from appliances to consumer electronics. So you all know that I shared in the beginning of the video that some of the items and materials that are on these ships, some of them are electronics. So Samsung, who I would say is a major producer of electronics, of course, they said, hey, wait a minute, this is affecting our operations. Again, this is about numbers and money at the end of the day. So they're saying, hey, this is affecting our bottom line. We got to step in. We got to do something about it. So that's what Samsung had to say. You all let me know your thoughts. Comment in the chat. Let me know, does this make sense? Do you all feel like these are real solutions to the supply chain crisis? Okay. All right. So that's what Samsung, those are some action steps that Samsung is going to take. All right. Next, I want to take a look at Home Depot. All right. Home Depot had this to say. The Home Depot is committing to move up to 10% additional containers per week during the newly available off-peak port hours at the ports of LA and Long Beach. All right, that is the Home Depot's plan. Again, my question is, I'm going to type it in the chat. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. Let me type this in the chat. What about the labor shortage? Are there enough workers? I'll say enough available workers to get, I'll say, to execute this plan. All right, so I just typed in the chat. Again, I would love to know your thoughts. What about the labor shortage? Again, this sounds good. This looks good on paper. But when we actually take the steps, the plan, when we actually take the steps to execute the plan, do we have enough available workers? Do these companies, so far we have talked about Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Samsung, the Home Depot. Next, I'm going to talk about Target. Do they have the available workers to actually execute the plan and get the things done that they said that they're going to get done? All right, that's a question that I instantly had, y'all. Okay. All right. So again, Home Depot is committing to move up to 10% additional containers per week during the newly available off-peak port hours at the ports of LA, that's Los Angeles, and Long Beach. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Next slide. I want to talk about Target. Target plans to Target, which is currently moving about 50% of its containers at night, has committed to increasing that amount by 10% during the next 90 days to help ease congestion at ports. Now, one thing that I want to add about Target, this was actually in another article. I can't remember what article I was reading, but I did see where Target has actually chartered their own container, their shipping vessel. They have actually chartered their own shipping vessel to help make sure that their items reach their stores, especially by the holiday season. So again, y'all, just like I shared about Walmart, you all know that Target, I know I shop quite often at Target. Maybe you do as well, but I feel like Target said there's no way that we're going to sit back and allow this to continue to happen, because we know we need our merchandise, we need our items to reach our stores so that it can get in the hands of our customers. So again, not Walmart, y'all. Well, Walmart too, but Target has stepped in and said, hey, this is our plan. This is what we're currently doing. And this is what we're going to do to help ease this supply chain crisis. So do you feel like this is enough? Do you feel like there is more that can be done? All right. All right. So that's some information on those companies. Now, going back to the article, it says across these 6 companies, okay, across these 6 companies, those companies being Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Samsung, the Home Depot, and Target. The White House says across these 6 companies, over 3,500 additional containers per week will move at night through the end of the year. Okay, now those boxes contain, you all know I shared some information. I shared electronics, plastics, toys, things like that. Well, actually, toys is mentioned in the article. I didn't mention it previously, but this article also goes on to share that the shipping containers, the boxes contain toys, appliances, bicycles, furniture that Americans purchase online or at their local small business, and pieces and parts that are sent to U.S. factories for our workers to assemble into products. Okay. And the article says this is just a start. These commitments provide, now this is what the White House is saying. Okay. It says that this is just a start. These commitments provide a clear market signal to the other businesses along the transportation supply chain, that's rails, trucks, and warehouses, that there is demand to move additional cargo at off-peak hours. Okay. Someone said in the chat, I believe some of this is orchestrated. So yes, they have enough people, especially if they can increase their pay. You know, I'm glad that you brought up that point, because there have been a lot of talks. You know, I have even said this before on the channel, that it seems like a lot of times, you know, they create the problem, and then they also come back and they create what they say is a solution. So everything that I'm sharing right now, as far as the White House press release, that could very well be the case. You know, some people could say, you know what, it's their fault that, you know, the whole world shut down. This was all planned. And, you know, now they're saying, oh, you know, wait a minute, we have a supply chain crisis, and here's what's going on, and you need to rush out and get as much as you can, get what you need, go ahead and do your Christmas shopping early. This could very well be something that was orchestrated. There is even research and reports to support, your thoughts. And so I'll be, I'll be bringing you out some more news on that as well. But that is definitely a good point. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Now, also, there are people who will continue to work with all stakeholders to help more businesses access these expanded hours. So I imagine that there may be more companies joining Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Samsung, the Home Depot, and Target in their efforts to help ease the supply chain crisis at the ports. And the article or the press release does conclude by saying this effort is part of the ongoing work of the Biden-Harris Supply Chain Disruptions Task Force to continue to identify emerging bottlenecks to the economic recovery and take action to clear them to help families, workers, and businesses get the goods that they need. Okay. All right. So again, this was back from October 13th, 2021. You can find this information on whitehouse.gov. At the end of the video, I'm not over it yet, y'all. I still got some more information to share. So please stick around. But I want to give you an update. So since the time of that article, more information, more updates have come out about the supply chain crisis, some that I find a little bit alarming. Now, I shared some information with you on what the Biden administration has put together and said is a plan. But I want y'all to check out some of the recent developments that have happened since this information has come out. All right, here's one article that I found. And it says people are hoarding. All right, this is from Entrepreneur, and it says the Epic Times. Okay, so this was something, an article that I found, and it says people are hoarding. Okay, executives issue a warning on possible food shortages. And you all let me know. I've talked about food shortages. I have several videos right here on the channel. Please make sure you check them out. But are you seeing food shortages in your area? Now, this is what the article had to say. All right. Now, some executives are issuing warnings that there might be food shortages nationwide due to supply chain bottlenecks coming as a number of school districts. So this is even affecting school districts, y'all. A number of school districts have reported they haven't received shipments of key items like milk or chicken nuggets. All right. What y'all think about that? And you all know that just from the videos I've shared here on the channel, you all know I've taken you in stores such as Sam's Club. Where have we been, y'all? We've been in Target. I took you to a farmer's market, and I'll be taking you to Kroger. But we've seen shelves like this, especially when around the time the pandemic first happened, and even more recently. So how do you feel about this news? People are hoarding. Do you feel like people are hoarding? Is hoarding the same as, being prepared? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know how you feel about that. Is it, that people are just say, hey, we see what's going on and we're getting prepared? Do you think people are panic buying? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Okay. All right. So executives are issuing warnings on possible food shortages. Okay. Another article that I found, this comes from CNBC. And I want to read some highlights from this as well. I'll let you take a look at it. Just read this, y'all, and then I'm going to give you some information. Okay. Take a look at what this says. Now, I just brought y'all some information about the Biden administration's plan. But take a look at what they're saying now, y'all. And we're going to talk about it. I just want to give you just a moment to process the headline and look at the key points. And we're going to talk about it. You all, please make sure that you share this video with family members or friends. Also, make sure you leave a comment. I would like to know your thoughts on the information that I am presenting. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Andrea Speaks TV. All right, so let's talk about this, y'all. So this information does come from CNBC. And as you can see, the article says that Biden hopes fines on lingering cargo ships ease congestion at major U.S. ports. So you all just heard that in the article I just read from whitehouse.gov that, you know, they were collaborating with the ports, and they were also collaborating with the 6 different companies: Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Samsung, Home Depot, Target. Everybody's working together. And, you know, this is a plan that they say, you know, will help ease port congestion. And this was back on October the 13th. But then this article, which is dated Tuesday, October 26th, which was just a few days ago, now all of a sudden, there are going to be fines involved. So what y'all think about that? So let's read some more into this article, okay? All right, so key points from the article. These are things I'm going to share. The title again, Biden hopes, yes, you're reading correctly, okay? Biden hopes fines on lingering cargo ships ease congestion at major U.S. ports. Okay, now here's some key points I'm going to talk about. The Biden administration is hopeful new fines. Okay, well, wait a minute. Fines imposed on carriers at the nation's busiest port complex will ease the intensifying logjam of cargo ships. Okay, listen to this, y'all. All right, thank you all so much. Everyone who's watching live now, please leave me a comment, say hello. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate your support. All right, so let me keep reading, okay? Now, the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, I talked about those back in episode 15, those ports. Now, the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach will charge carriers. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. We are here talking about the supply chain crisis, y'all, and President Biden, what he calls a plan. But I want to hear from you. I want to know, do you think these are real solutions? What would you say needs to be done in order to address and correct the supply chain crisis that's going on right now? So thank you all so much for being here. Stick around. I am reporting news that you can use, commentary you can use. And even if you're just tuning in, you can always go back and watch what you missed in the beginning and leave your comments below. Okay, you all make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Okay, all right, so you all know I just shared with you the Biden administration's plan, but now just a few days ago they announced that they're going to start charging the carriers at the ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach $100 per day for each container lingering past the given timeline starting tomorrow, November 1st. Can y'all believe that? Again, is this an example of where they created the problem and now they're creating what some would call a solution? Okay. Now, the nation's knotted supply chain is bearing the brunt of surging consumer demand. Okay, high transportation expenses, crippling labor shortages, overseas manufacturing delays, trade policies, and inflation. Okay, all right. Exactly. Why find them? Someone said in the chat, why find them? That's what I'm saying. Okay. So, all right. So let me give you some more information. Now, the Biden administration is hopeful new fines imposed on carriers at the nation's busiest port complex will abate the intensifying logjam of cargo ships. Now, does that make sense to y'all? Now, you came out October 13th. That's the date in the article that I just shared with the Biden administration. They addressed the port congestion in Los Angeles and Long Beach. They said, hey, you know, we got 6 companies. We got Walmart, Target, Samsung, Home Depot. Who else I'm missing, y'all? We got FedEx, UPS. We're going to all come together, and we're going to put some plans and actions in place to help ease this port congestion. Now, this is back October 13th. But then what, 13 days later on October 26th, you're talking about fining them? First of all, have you even given them time to actually, get things going, get things moving? Like, why all of a sudden? And I don't necessarily, I don't know all of the ins and outs about how ports work. And I don't know if they normally have to charge or pay a fee to actually use the port. But, if you're just bringing this plan out and now all of a sudden you're talking about fining them, have you even given them enough time to kind of, you got to get adjusted. You got to get, your plan together. You got to get people in place. It just seems like this is just, I don't know, for some reason, it just seemed like all of this news is coming at the wrong time. Okay. And it actually could be making the situation worse. But let me give you all some more details. Okay. Now, the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach announced Monday. Okay. This was this past Monday that containers moved by trucks will have 9 days, y'all, before fines start accruing, and containers scheduled to move by rail will have 3 days. Okay, now, let's think about this, y'all. Again, I have not been to a port, so I don't know the logistics. I don't know the ins and outs of how much time it would take on a normal day to get this done. But I do know if the ports are already backed up, how much can you really get done? It says in 9 days for trucks, or how much can you actually get done in 3 days? Okay, let me know. Does this make sense to y'all? Let me know in the comments, please. Okay. All right, here's a picture of a container ship. It says the container ships wait outside the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, waiting to unload on October the 13th. Okay, so this is the same day that the Biden administration announced the plan to address port congestion and the supply chain crisis, and to get the goods moving. Okay. All right. So in accordance with these deadlines, carriers will be charged $100 for each lingering container per day starting November 1st. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that seems like that's going to add up to a whole lot of money. And one thing that I want you all to think about is, who do you think that now, if these companies, if they're doing the best that they can, and they're trying to move these container ships, the shipping containers off of the ships, get them unloaded, get it in the truck so that these items can get to the store and then turn around, and get to us, the consumers, we can purchase them. It just seems like, I don't know, is this the right approach? Should we be fining them? Who do you think, with these fines that these companies are going to have to pay, who do you think that they're going to pass these costs along to? You all let me know in the chat. We have some people who are watching now live, and I appreciate you so much for being here. But you all let me know, who do you think is going to bear the brunt of these fines that are being charged to these companies? Who do you think they're going to pass the cost along to? Someone let me know in the chat. Who are they going to pass the cost along to? That's right, the customer. You and I, right? So, and who knows, that may be an extra, I don't know, $5, $10, who knows? We're already seeing rising prices. I did a video recently on the channel. You can go back and watch it, but I did a video and I was in Target, and I was just, I didn't get to be on as long as I had wanted to be, but I was just buying every day. I was running errands and I was just buying everyday common items. And you can see the aisle that I was on. I was just shopping for items like laundry detergent, paper towels. Have you all noticed that these items like those cost much more? So what I'm saying is, if these companies, first of all, let me say this, and I've shared this before, these companies are having to pay more to find alternative ways to actually get their items from where they're made or manufactured to the ports and then to the customers. They're having to pay more of a cost. And then we know that cost is being passed on to us, the consumers. So, y'all, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? All right. Someone in the chat shared, it seems like the Biden administration's only plan is to penalize the American people and companies to do what they want, but never really fixing the problem. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I'm saying. Again, you got people in this time, you got companies who are being penalized. They're, already working off of labor shortages. And I'm going to tell you all something else, something that I found in my research. I've even learned that, because, I started thinking, I was like, okay, what caused, okay, so when the ships got to the ports, what happened that they weren't instantly unloaded? I think that in an article or video I shared early on, I think I shared that normally it would take maybe a day or so to unload the ships. Like it was just a quick turnaround, like on a normal day, maybe pre-pandemic, it was a very quick turnaround to empty these ships and, continue the cycle. Get the shipping containers, empty them out, load them on the trucks. It would just be a fast turnaround. But I even learned, and you all tell me, have you seen some information on this as well? But I even learned that, in certain states, they have, the mandates where if you don't get a certain thing, you all know what I'm talking about. If you don't get a certain thing, you can't work. So I learned that in some states and even other parts of the world, some other countries, that a lot of the reason why these ports, there were no workers at the ports, again, the labor shortage, is because a lot of people who would have been willing to work were not allowed to work because they chose not to get a certain thing. You all know what I'm talking about. So again, creating the problem, but not really. So in other words, creating the problem, creating what they call a solution or a plan, but as someone shared in the chat, never really fixing the problem. And I think that's exactly what we see going on here. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your comment and your feedback. Okay. All right. Now, there was a comment by the executive director at the Port of Long Beach. He said the terminals are running out of space. The terminals are running out of space, and this will make room for the containers sitting on those ships at anchor. Okay. Now, the White House press secretary also had this to say Tuesday, that the administration continues to, and I quote, press on ways to address issues in the supply chain, adding that Biden plans to discuss global commerce disruptions with leaders at the G20 meeting this weekend. Now, I did get some information where there was a meeting. I know that meeting, I believe, was currently held this weekend. And so I'm going to do some research on that and bring you all some updates on what was said or what was decided at that meeting. But this is what's going on, y'all. This is what's going on. Okay. Let me see what I have on the next slide. Okay. Here's a picture. Let me see. I'm going to make it so you all can read the caption. This comes from Getty Images. It says, as far as the eye can see, cargo trucks wait in long lines to enter the Port of Los Angeles as the port is set to begin operating around the clock on Wednesday, October 13th, 2021 in San Pedro, California. Okay, again, October 13th is the same day that President Biden gave his statement, his plan to address the supply chain crisis and port congestion. Okay. So again, you all, I mean, we can see the trucks are lined up bumper to bumper, maybe you could say, and, they're ready to get things going, but I don't know if finding them is a solution. Is finding them supposed to, what do you all feel is the purpose of finding them? Do you think that is supposed to make them work faster? Again, it just seems like someone said earlier, penalizing the American people are being penalized. And it just seems like at the end of the day, what I get from it is that those fines are going to be passed on to you and I, the consumers, in the form of higher prices of these items. So I don't really think, again, that's more money coming out of my pocket, your pocket. And to us, it's may not really be a real solution. Okay. You all let me know your thoughts in the comment. Okay. This is also an image I shared back from episode 15 of Andrea Speaks TV. I'm going to go back and post a link to episode 15. That was the very first episode that I introduced the supply chain crisis back on April the 17th, I believe, 2021. And even back then, when it wasn't in the media, people weren't really talking about it. I knew back then, I said, you know what, this is something that people need to know today. Again, this is back in April, y'all. And I said, this is a growing problem. And fast forward months from now, that was what April was, almost 7 months ago, right? Almost 7 months ago, I knew it was a problem. And then fast forward, here we are today, 7 months later. And what, that's all you see now: supply chain crisis, global supply chain crisis. That's all we hear about. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I do research. I report factual information. Everything that I'm reporting, this is all news and information you can go and research and find. It right here on the internet. But this is an image. This is one of the slides that I shared back from my video, episode 15. And I said, hey, these are all, signs that we could be seeing. I took you all to Sam's Club. The video is right here on the channel. And I showed you all where even now, we've seen limits placed on items before. But in Sam's Club, you all saw where I shared that you can't just go in and purchase cases and cases of water. Oh, no. Sam's Club, I believe, had a limit of three cases of water per customer or per membership. And so all of these things are very real. Limit one per customer. You're going to start seeing limits. You're also going to start seeing sold out. I know when I was in the local farmers market, they do have signs that say sold out until a certain date or whatever date they anticipate those items coming back in stock. You'll see signs that say temporarily out of stock. And in some cases, you may even see businesses, if they cannot get their items, that they need so that customers can purchase them. In some cases, we may see stores that are closing because they just simply don't have the inventory to meet the demand of the customers. All right. Yes, we've seen local stores have been short too. And, right here, even on the channel, I have subscribers who are in all parts of the United States as well as around the world. And there are some people, believe it or not, who are saying that, hey, I don't believe that there are shortages. This is just made up, for whatever reason, they may feel like it's just made up information. And in the comments, I always say, if you're not seeing shortages in your area, you need to count it a blessing, because that's just not the case. I know in my area, I am seeing shortages. I'm going to be taking you all this week. We're going to be going in Kroger. I learned that Kroger has actually changed their hours. And they say that, this is being done, which they've done this in the past. They did this back around the time of the pandemic, but they were saying that they're changing their hours to give the employees time to stock the shelves overnight so that the next morning, the shelves will be stocked. So I'm going to be taking you all to Kroger this week. We're going to take a look, and I'll try to go in the morning. I can't guarantee what time of day I'll be able to go there. But, since they did change their hours so that they can restock their shelves overnight, I want to go and check out and see, okay, if they, allegedly are if they are allegedly stocking their shelves overnight, then what does it look like first thing in the morning when the store is open? So we're going to be going to Kroger this week. And so, let me know. Someone shared that their local stores have been short. Are you seeing shortages in your area? Are you seeing shortages in your area? Okay. All right. So if you have not already shared, I would like for you to please leave a comment below. In the chat, I want you to type your response to the following question. What real solutions? Now, you all have heard everything that I have shared right here on the channel in this episode 51, where we talked about the Biden administration's efforts and their plan to address the port congestion and supply chain crisis. And I even brought you some updates on, Biden recently saying that the carriers are going to be charged $100 per day. Do you feel like these are real solutions? We even talked about how 6 companies, Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Samsung, the Home Depot, Target, they have all made statements. They have action plans, actionable steps that they say are going to help ease the supply chain crisis. You've heard all of these things, right? All this information I reported on. So I would like to hear from you, my supporters, my subscribers. I want to know your thoughts. Okay. You all have a voice on the channel as well. I would like to hear from you. What real solutions do you feel are needed to address and correct the global supply chain crisis? Okay. You all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay. Let me know your thoughts. What real solutions do you feel are needed to address and correct the global supply chain crisis? And I'm going to type that in the chat as well. You can also tell me, do you feel like the information I shared, do you feel like it's real solutions? But I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What real solutions do you feel? What real solution do you feel? I'm sorry, what real solutions do you feel are needed to address and correct the global supply chain crisis? What real solutions do you feel are needed to address and correct the global supply chain crisis? You all let me know your thoughts in the chat. And if you feel like these are real solutions, solutions that the plan of the Biden administration, if you feel like these are real solutions, please let me know in the comments as well. You all let me know your thoughts. And thank you all so much for joining in on tonight's episode, for tuning in. Please make sure, if you have not already left a comment, let me know. Okay, someone else shared in the chat. I feel like it's backed up now. I'm sorry, I feel like it's so backed up now. Someone shared. I don't know what can be done. That is true. Just looking at the pictures of all the ships that are, there and that are docked at the port. I don't know, y'all. I don't know how many people they have who are there. Again, I keep thinking of the labor shortage in all of this, or what they're reporting to us is a labor shortage. And I'm just looking, all of the ships. It's even more ships now than from what I first reported on back in April. It just seems like it's going to take a while to get all of these containers unloaded. So I don't know, adding fines. I don't know, y'all. It just seemed like, again, like I shared, it just seems like it's more money coming out of the pockets of the consumers. Okay. Someone else shared, I know the Biden administration isn't going to do anything. It's in the people's hands and the companies that's trying to get cargo ships here. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Even though they put this plan together, working with the other companies, it seemed like it would be a good plan. It may seem like it, but it just, at the end of the day, I have to shake my head like, these aren't real solutions. These aren't real solutions. It sounds good to say, hey, we're going to stay open 24/7, but you got to think about it, y'all. At the end of the day, these are humans. Oh, now let me say this, y'all. So what I was about to say was at the end of the day, these are humans who are unloading these ships and moving boxes around. But do you all know? And maybe I need to report on this, but they actually have robots. Robots are actually taking they actually have robots. I don't know about at the ports, but there are robots who are actually, I know it, at least at UPS, I've heard of circumstances and situations where robots were actually transporting boxes around. So I don't know. Are they going to use people, manpower at these ports operating 24/7? Or are they going to utilize robots? Now, that's something coming into the episode. I didn't even think about that, but I'm just thinking at the end of the day, we're human and, working around the clock, extended hours, even if you are picking up extra hours, that can be a lot on a person. Just physically, the physical demands it takes to unload these ships. So, ships or shipping containers. So I don't know that I just made myself think of another point. Are they going to utilize robots, okay, to get this done, working 24/7? So I don't know. Now, if that's the case, you know, someone could say, okay, well, using robots, that is an efficient way to get it done. You can possibly maybe work a robot longer and faster than maybe a human, but if we're using robots, doesn't that further contribute to the labor shortage? Because then you're actually putting people out of work. They won't, if a robot can do the job faster, much easier, then what happens then? They're taking away a person from doing it, um, rather than they're taking away a human doing the job, and in place of a human, they're putting robots. So could that be? I don't know. Could that be the future of the workforce if they can't find people, actual humans, to do the job? People to do the job, would they turn to robots? So I would be curious to know that. Is that something that they're even talking about, utilizing robots at these ports to help um, unload these ships? I don't know. I just thought of that, but that very well could be part of what they say is the solution or the plan. Okay. Any more thoughts or comments? What do you feel like are real solutions? What real solutions do you feel are needed to address and correct the global supply chain crisis? You all let me know. Again, y'all, this is information. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is information not to scare you, not to frighten you, not to cause you to go out and panic buy, but I want you all to be aware of what's going on. Again, this is not always news that makes the front page of the headlines. You all know I was reporting on this back in April of 2021 when no one was really even talking about a supply chain crisis. But I knew back then that this was going to be a growing problem and people needed to know about it so that they can be prepared, be aware, and make a plan to protect their themselves, their families, and loved ones. So I want you all to be prepared, be aware of what's going on. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to put myself back on the screen. This concludes tonight's episode 51 of Andrea Speaks TV. We have talked about the supply chain crisis. I gave you updates on that, and I would like to know your thoughts. So let me know your thoughts in the chat, whether you're watching now live or by replay. And if you joined us late and you said, well, Andrea, I really didn't get the facts about what you were sharing, tell me what you were talking about. You can go back and watch the video, watch the replay, and you can leave your comments. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Pretty soon, I will be able to send out text alerts. I'll be able to send out text alerts to let you all know when I go live. I don't have a set schedule when I do go live because one, I am busy, seeing about my family. I have different things that I have going on, and there's so much news that comes out. I am going to be investing in a text message system. You all let me know in the chat. Is that something that you all would be interested in? Getting text notifications when I do go live, um, so that I can share information with you. You all let me know in the chat. Is that something that you would be interested in signing up for? Text alerts to let you all know when I do go live so that you can hear the information first. Let me know in the chat. Is that something that you all would be interested in? Okay. All right. So again, this is episode 51. Thank you all so much for your support of the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure if you found this information to be helpful, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share this video, subscribe to the channel right here, Andrea Speaks TV. I shared in the very beginning that if you would like to support the channel, if you would like to see Andrea Speaks TV grow, then you can support the channel by purchasing merchandise, Andrea Speaks TV merchandise. The link is in the description of the video if you would like to purchase merchandise. There are t-shirts available, as well as water bottles. We also have, or I also have mouse pads. That is a new addition to the site. Laptop cases, t-shirts, coffee mugs. So if you would like to support the channel, please make sure you check out the link in the description. Also, I would like to grow my Instagram following. So if you are on Instagram, please make sure you follow me on Instagram at Andrea Speaks TV. Again, that's at Andrea Speaks TV. And also, you all know with everything going on, and you all know I have been reporting on food shortages, water shortages, even with the supply chain crisis. Make sure that you have an emergency food supply, whether you're canning your own food, which I'm going to be doing myself, and as well as having a home garden. I have that as well. And make sure you have some survival needs. So if you are saying, you know what, I haven't thought about that yet, where can I get that from? Make sure you check out my site. The link is also in the description of the video, preparewithandrea.com. All right. So again, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been episode 51 of Andrea Speaks TV. Make sure if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you invite someone to subscribe. You all know I'm sharing news and commentary that you all can use. And we're just living in a time, y'all, where there is so much information being pushed out to us. A lot of times it's hard to say, you know what, okay, what's really going on? What don't they want us to know? What's being hidden from us? And what information do we really need to know so that we can make a plan to protect ourselves and our family? So this is what the channel is all about. And I'm looking to build a community of people, individuals who are concerned about the times that we're living in, who want to know, truth, who want to know the truths about what's happening so that they can make a plan for themselves and their family. So if you would like to be a part of the community, please make sure you subscribe to the channel right here, Andrea Speaks TV. So again, y'all, this has been episode 51. I will be going live again soon. I want to talk about topics such as the Biden administration in talks to offer or to settle to pay $450,000 to families who were separated at the border. I want to give you some facts and details about that. And we have other topics that are coming up this week. It's a lot of things going on, a lot to talk about. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you can be informed and aware of what's going on. I may actually be coming back on in a few minutes. I'm going to take a break, check on my family. And thank you so much. Someone said I'm going to definitely support the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your support. And you know what, nothing else, a lot of times we don't have to know people to support them, or either want to share information with them that's going to help them. So there are many of you who I haven't met who support the channel, and I'm very thankful and grateful to you. And I want to share this information so that you are aware of what's going on, so that you can protect your family and yourself, your family, and your loved ones. So that's what this channel is all about. So if you're looking for factual information, you say, you know what, I want to know what's going on. I don't, I'm not really concerned about a lot of foolishness. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know some facts. Then you know what, you are in the right place. So I want to thank you so much. Encourage others to subscribe, and I appreciate you all so much. All right, thank you all. Thank you for your support. I'll be back on soon. I may take a quick break. I do want to. There's so much coming up, y'all, that we got to talk about, and so I may come back on maybe in another maybe 30 minutes to an hour and talk about the recent news that Biden administration is offering $450,000 to families who were separated at the border. So I want to bring you out some facts and information about that. So thank you all so much. Make sure you subscribe so you'll get the notification if I do go live within 30 minutes to an hour. And thank you all so much. I'll be back soon. This has been episode 51. And just in case I don't go back live tonight, you all take care. Have a blessed rest of your night. Have a great start to your weekend. And stay tuned for more news and information right here on Andrea Speaks TV. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to come back. I'm going to take a quick, maybe 30-minute break. And I'll hop back on, hopefully, to give you some more information about what's going on and more information in the news. So y'all take care. I'll see you soon. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Andrea Speaks TV.